Now we're rolling. Damage Plan MMA podcast. I'm Jason. As always, my co-host, the voice of MMA in Utah, Mr. Zach Partridge. Muscles don't win fights. I like it.
They don't. That's why I look the way I do.
So we're a little different setup today. We had a little snowstorm today.
Because somebody's a sissy and won't drive in the snow. Sun's out.
I actually got on the freeway and I started to go up there and I'm like, F this. The freeways weren't plowed. I-15 South was backed up. I don't even know how long.
You big baby.
Just wasn't worth my time.
Hey, die for the podcast. What sacrifices are you willing to make?
Sacrifice for the podcast, baby.
Yeah. Sacrifice your life.
So we got a big UFC card tomorrow night.
Big UFC card. We always get those pleasant surprises where it's like, that was a great card. This card, top to bottom, stacked.
It's going to be a great card.
I mean, there are fights on the early prelims that would be on main cards on fight nights. There are prelims that should be on the main card, like whole card top to bottom.
So before we get started, I did a thing this week.
Yeah.
I got called out on my BS, and
so you admit that you're BS.
I think there was a little BS there. So I signed up at Sierra Mixed Martial Arts to start consistently training jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai. And so what happened? So my lovely wife, Cherie, signed up a couple weeks ago, and she's been going to jiu-jitsu every night and loves it. And Mr. Pedro Sierra told her that I'm too comfortable over at the Phoenix PI doing the fight camp conditioning classes because I'm good at that.
Pedro is wise.
And I'm not good at jiu-jitsu. And I'm not good at Muay Thai.
You suck at jiu-jitsu.
I sat back for like a week, and it just every night I'm thinking, damn it, is that why I'm not going? Like, what is this, you know? And I thought, I need a challenge. That's my challenge. Boom, I'm in, man. I'm in. I did 2 classes yesterday. I did 2 classes Tuesday. No gi jiu-jitsu. And let's just say I know how to tap very well.
I can't wait to tap you out.
I'm learning some moves, Zach. You better watch it.
Okay. We should make a friendly wager bet on that.
On what?
On a roll.
What's the time? What's the time limit?
And dude, you're the newcomer. You set the terms. What do you think is a fair amount of time for you to survive a roll?
Well, okay. Let me just tell you this.
And I'll leave your Achilles alone, I promise.
You obviously know because you've been doing this longer than I have. When you start jiu-jitsu class, you go over a move for about an hour, right? You're kind of practicing a move, and then they let you go for 30 minutes, right?
Yeah, and then everybody tries that move, and it doesn't work because you all just learned it.
Exactly. And we're trading partners every 5 minutes or so or whatever. Yeah. Guess who the first person I get to roll with is?
Pedro.
I
was going to say, it's either going to be Joel or Pedro.
Oh, I got to roll with Joel too, and that didn't end up well. Got to roll with Hector last night. That didn't end very well.
Hector's good too.
Hector's very good. And he's not the biggest guy, but he knows how to use his abilities. Let's just say
if anybody hasn't, go to the Damage Plan page and go listen to Jocko about why everybody should do jiu-jitsu.
You know, I had my wife listen to that the other night because she it's the beginner. You know, I went through this too when I first started popping into classes, and it's hard. It's humbling because you don't know, and that's the problem. Is you want to know, but not knowing is part of the process. It's part of your development as a jiu-jitsu practitioner. You got to learn. You got to spend the time. You got to come to class. You have to start at the bottom. And the best part is everybody started there. Everybody.
Everybody starts somewhere.
It's kind of cool to start to see like little things starting to come together. You know, I've never done it consistently, but I've been to, I'd pop up at one hit here and there. So I kind of knew the basics. I knew I'm not the over aggressive white belt guy that's like trying to muscle people. I know how to kind of stay calm Not that it works for me, but
I went with one of those yesterday.
Yeah, so I kind of surprised.
I went with an over-aggressive power lifter meathead yesterday.
You slap a choke on him?
Couple. Told him to relax.
Hector thought I was going to be all panicky like that, and he was kind of surprised because I'm like, well, I've done enough classes that I know I knew that not to,
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, we've rolled together before.
Yeah. So anyways, I'm part of the Sierra Mixed Martial Arts community now. I love it. It's a great community over there, as is all of our MMA gyms here in Salt Lake City, in Utah in general.
Yeah, we're pretty lucky.
We're lucky, man. We're really lucky. The best thing that I like about it, and I know I've talked about this on the podcast before, is a lot of people are intimidated to walk into a situation like that, into a gym, and not know what they're doing. I've never felt that way. My wife you go in there and everybody makes you feel comfortable. Everybody's helping, everybody's supportive.
Yeah, for the most part.
For the most part.
The way it should be.
I haven't ran into any situations. I'd like to think that most of the gyms that I've gone to, there's enough hitters in there that if somebody's acting up, I think they're going to go. Samson's obviously training over there, who's another killer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm excited. So, anyways, what's going to be our bet?
I don't know. You said how long you think you should be able to survive against me.
What's a normal round? 3 minutes?
3 or 5?
I can't do 5.
Why?
I don't know. Maybe I can. Maybe by the time I come back up there, I'll be conditioned enough to do 5.
You don't think you could roll for 5 minutes right now?
I couldn't even roll 2 minutes with Pedro before I was freaking dying.
Oh yeah, you're in trouble. But
obviously that's Pedro. You're not Pedro, Zach.
I'm not Pedro, but I'm gonna get you now.
So okay. So if we do 5 minutes, can we set an over of under how many times I tap, or I just have to not tap the whole time?
Oh, you'll tap in 5 minutes, dog.
Well, I know I'm going to tap, but what's going to be we got to set an over under. You got to give me a little bit of leeway.
2.5.
2.5 times?
Yeah.
That seems kind of low. You're good, Zach. You're a blue belt.
Barely.
Well, we have to find something we're going to bet, a fight we're going to have to bet on, and not the main event. I'm not doing it on that. You know what? We will do it on that. Let's do it on that. Let's make it fun. Let's do it on the main event. We'll tell our picks afterwards since we're opposite.
Everybody already knows.
Yeah. All right.
Let's see.
Should we go ahead and start breaking down this card?
Yeah.
Ooh,
Hey, real quick.
What?
We saw something.
What?
And we saw something, and it's freaking. It's like it almost makes too much sense.
What did we see?
It's gonna be Conor and Nate Diaz, huh?
It's gonna be Conor and Nate Diaz.
That's why Conor is 195 pounds and on all the horse meat that Canelo was eating and everything.
It just makes too much sense.
Never starts off well. Yeah, Fiji, you're not lying, dude.
Sorry, I was a little behind on the comments because I was in full screen mode, but we're back. We're good.
But you know what I mean? Like, I was thinking about everybody's. Oh, Nate's last fight, like Chimaev or this or that or whatever. No, it's gonna be, dude. They're not gonna let Nate Diaz walk away and start doing like boxing super fights or whatever he's gonna start doing after this, or maybe he just goes and just gets high 24/7.
He does that.
He is anyways, but they're not going to let him out of a UFC contract without getting that trilogy money.
And that's going to be a huge fight. That's going to be huge.
And and honestly, of anybody of relevance, that's probably the most winnable fight for Conor.
I went back and rewatched Conor's last 2 fights with McGregor. He wasn't really doing that bad.
No, he wasn't. the one where he broke his leg.
Yeah,
he buzzed Poirier.
He buzzed Poirier, and he was kicking the hell out of Poirier's leg too. He just wasn't hitting the right spots.
No,
You could see that he could make corrections, and he could potentially be there. I mean, I've written them off, but it's like
you go watch the Poirier. Where I view Poirier, Poirier. I think Poirier is the best 155er in the world right now. And the way he beat Conor and he's done everything, I think he's the best with his whole body of work, who he's beaten. And I'm going to go back at first, like the Michael Chandler fight for Conor, like made me nervous for Conor.
Yeah.
And then the more that I think about it after watching Poirier, and the more that I think about it watching Chandler, like besides Nate Diaz, because he's not ranked, he's nothing, right? Like he's just Diaz Army, right?
Diaz Army, baby.
If you talk about like ranked guys at 155, Chandler's probably the one fight that I think Conor actually might have some advantages in, like distinct advantages in.
Yeah, I think his striking's too good. He uses his range too well for, and Chandler doesn't use his wrestling.
Not great. Not he kind of like Gaethje, more defensively.
Yeah. I just saw not to change subject, but Kevin just posted Cole Faust has a new opponent for December 17th.
What happened?
I don't know. Your screen froze. It's probably your internet.
Yo, what happened?
You're frozen.
Me or is it you?
It's you, dog.
Is it me or is it you?
It's you.
Oh.
Zack.
Hi.
There. Hi. Yeah, you're slow. It's your internet.
Always.
Yeah. Do you need to change it?
Nope. I just did. We're good.
Oh. So yeah. Anyways, Kevin Patton just posted Cole Faust has a new opponent. Unfortunately, Sam Adele could not get medically cleared.
Turns out though, not scared, just
legit. Like he came on the podcast, the kid's got a ton of confidence, and he legit has some medical issues. He still wanted to fight. The doctors just wouldn't clear him.
Yeah. So
Austin Mansky, if I'm not mistaken, is taking his place. He's 2-0. Looked really well in the first two fights we've seen him in.
And I believe the champ Cole Faust will be sitting right here next to me in about an hour.
Is he going to punch you now? We can't punch you a week before his fight.
Why not?
What if he breaks his hand on your ribs?
On all that hard rock fat on my stomach? Get out of here.
Dude, I just got to give you props again. Looking at your pictures from those fights that you posted the other day.
4 years ago, fighting at 205 versus 170.
That is impressive, man. It is impressive that you've been able to not only lose the weight, but keep the weight off. That's not easy. It's not easy, bro.
No shortcuts either.
Not easy.
Everybody wants the magic pill or whatever. There is no magic pill.
You've been putting in work. You grind every day. You eat well.
Drinking water in my Maverick cup. Doesn't even taste good.
Anyway, so a little shout out to you for doing that. It's huge. Should we break down this card?
Yeah, I'm actually just kind of watching the weigh-ins right now.
Oh, are they on?
No, I mean just the not the ceremonial ones.
I hate doing these without watching those, but I'm pretty
face-offs. I like the body language at the face-offs.
Yeah. Yep.
You know what? I feel like I have a pretty good beat on this card.
I do too. I feel pretty comfortable on it. I feel pretty comfortable.
I won't let him punch me today. Well, I mean, we'll see how he's feeling.
Okay.
If it's not. Oh man, Schnell and Perez is off.
Yeah, I didn't see exactly what happened, but it looked like something might have possibly happened with Schnell medical.
That's a bummer.
I was looking forward to that one.
That was one of my underdogs.
Ooh, really? That was
Schnell.
The pick, huh? Interesting.
I have a theory with Alex Pereira coming up. Hasn't fought since his loss, his title fight for Figueiredo, and then taking over a year off. And Schnell was a big underdog, but he is sneaky on the ground. His submission game is really, really good. And I was going to throw out the little tidbit of a half a unit on Schnell by submission. But doesn't matter anymore.
Not happening now. All right, let's get this party started. Starting in the women's flyweight division, we have Priscilla Caceres, Zombie Girl, against Jillian Robertson, the Savage. Priscilla is 10-3. She stands 5'7" with a 65-inch reach. Robertson is 9-6. She stands 5'5" with a 63-inch reach. Fight odds: Robinson's a huge favorite. She's a -375 favorite to come back as +280 for Zombie Girl. What do you think about this one, Mr. Partridge?
I like Jillian Roberts. I think she wins.
Okay.
I actually do think this is one of the few fights where I think that you can get some value on not betting goes to decision. Jillian Roberts gets a lot of submissions.
Yes, she does.
And she's very slick on the ground, and she's very good. And I think she will have an opportunity to win inside the distance. They have her at a -400 though, which I think is insane.
I don't like that. Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah, it's too. Let me just pull up Jillian Roberts' history real quick. It's too much for a girl that's 9-6, and she ended on a 2-fight MMA losing streak.
Yeah, she's 2-3 in her last 5.
Yeah, so -400. I mean, that's literally just saying Priscilla is just on her way out of the UFC at that point, in my eyes.
Well, she's on a 2-fight win streak though. She beat Shawn Dustin and Gina Mazzani.
Beat Gina. Okay, Gina's nothing great. Shauna Dobson's not even in the UFC anymore. Lost to. Do we know if she's good? She hasn't even beaten anybody that's like.
Yeah.
At least Jillian's beaten some girls that it's like they're good and they belong in the UFC. Jillian wins, but I mean, you'd have to be insane to lay some money on this. But I actually do like the Jillian wins inside the distance is -115 on our site. How
about Robertson by submission is +100?
Yeah.
Ooh, Jackson just said Priscilla was over by 3 pounds. I didn't see the results on that one, but not good. Not good. That actually could play in her favor because she's a big girl as it is.
She is bigger than Jillian, but I just don't think it matters. I think Jillian's better everywhere.
Yeah, I agree. So picks Jillian. Both of us are going with Jillian.
Yeah.
All right. Next up. I'm going to make these notes because I like to go back and look at these. So we're both going Jillian on this one. Next fight in the bantamweight division, we got Randy Costa against Tony Primetime Kelly. Costa is 6-2. He stands 5'9" with a 73-inch reach, and Kelly 7-2. He stands 5'9" with a 70-inch reach. You remember Costa's coming off that loss against Yanez, which was a freaking fireworks fight. He is a -180 favorite, +155 as a comeback on Prime Time.
I really like Randy Costa in this spot. He looked so good against Adrian Yanez in the first round. Adrian Yanez, just once he got his timing down, was just a step better everywhere. But at -175, I think Randy Costa is a really clear pick there. And I think he picks him apart, and I think he probably gets the knockout in the late first or early second round.
I'm with you on that one. I'm taking Costa on that one as well. I actually think he finishes him as well.
So if he touches him near as much as he touched Yanez, I think he's going. I think Tony Kelly's going down. But looking at it, Tony Kelly, that's the other thing. He's 7-2, only 9 pro fights at 34 years old.
Yeah,
that is.
Did he get a late start in the game?
Lost to Kai Kamaka in his UFC debut, and Kai's no longer in the UFC. He's on Bellator now.
Yeah,
and it's like, so it's just, yeah. I actually Randy Costa for sure.
Costa it is. Next up in the featherweight division, we got Ryan Hall versus Derrick Minner. Hall is 8-2, stands 5'10" with a 71-inch reach. Minner is 26-12. He stands 5'7" with a 71-inch reach. So slight height advantage for Hall, and reach advantage is the same. Hall's actually a 2-1 favorite, plus 170 on the comeback for Minner. What are you liking in this one?
Man, this one's hard for me. So I was really pissed because I think when Darren Minner lost to Darren Elkins, I swore him off and I said I would never pick him again. And Hall didn't look great in his last fight because he plays that game so weirdly. And Tapora was a black belt in his own right, so he just wasn't as scared to engage with Ryan Hall on the ground as most people are. Yeah. And he got himself safe and remember hammer fisted him out basically.
Yep.
I don't think that Minner has that skill set. Most of his fights that he wins and loses are submissions. And I think but he always wins by submission. So he doesn't really win by knockout. His last win by knockout was.
I'm looking for it too. I don't even think he
never
lost to Kevin Kroon by knockout. Yeah, I don't think he's ever knocked.
He's never won. Oh, his let's see, his 8th professional fight back in 2013. So wow. If this is going to be a grappling match, I'm taking Ryan Hall all day.
Man,
all day. Ryan Hall puts him to sleep, or just tears his knee apart.
See, I'm kind of in the same.
Yeah, like Jackson. He's like our insider.
He is insider. Initially, I'm thinking Derrick Minner could. I feel like he has enough skills to avoid anything, but that last fight,
he does.
That last fight with Elkins, the way he gassed out like that, it really scares me. But on the flip side, Ryan Hall's kind of a one-trick pony, and it's like.
I like that Ryan Hall trains with Stephen Wonderboy Thompson too, though, and is kind of uses that like karate, like in and out.
Yeah.
With his striking, with his Emmett roll, we saw it a little bit in his last fight. It's gotten a little bit better, and so I think he may be a one-trick pony that he's like elite at and great at, but I still think he has been developing his skills in other ways too. Like I actually think this is pretty cut and dry. What's Ryan Hall by submission?
Ryan Hall by submission you're probably getting crappy odds on that.
It was minus 200, but if I can get him by submission near even.
Hall by TKO. I don't think you're going to get it.
They don't even give it to you?
They're not even giving it to us on here. I don't even. Yeah, there's nothing. Hall. Wait.
So it's either that or Hall inside the distance. But I actually think Hall submits him. I think Ryan Hall submits him. Hall inside the distance on ours is plus 105.
You know what?
I like a little value in that.
I am going to go the other way on this one. I'm actually going to take Minner. I'm going to ride him one more time.
Like, do you really believe that, or is that one of those that you're just doing the opposite, but then you're going to bet Ryan Hall?
No, I'm definitely not betting. I'm not betting on this fight at all. I just like the Glory MMA guy, and I'm gonna take Minner.
He's the one guy that I don't like from Glory MMA.
Yeah, I mean, trust me, I'm not sold on that pick. I'm not betting the house on it. All right. Ooh, this should be a fun fight. In the women's flyweight division, Erin Blanchfield, cold-blooded against Miranda Fear the Maverick. Blanchfield is 7-1, stands 5'4" with a 68-inch reach. Maverick is 9-3. She stands 5'3" with a 65.5-inch reach. Oh, this is gonna be a good one.
I really like this fight. I think that Blanche's only professional loss is against Tracy Cortez. And that was in Invicta, but now they're both in the UFC, and that was a split decision loss. So, I mean, she's one judge away from being undefeated still. Miranda Maverick's very good. Lost a split decision that I thought that she won against Macy Barber.
Ditto.
And then she's, of course, I mean, to me, this fight, it's fun for us, but it doesn't make a ton of sense. I feel like it's a little bit of a title eliminator.
It's crazy. You got two women that are 22 and 24 respectively, like two great up and coming prospects.
So I actually think it's a close fight, but I think that there is one fighter that's just a little bit better. And luckily, we're getting odds on her. Erin Blanchfield, I think, is a little better.
Great minds think alike, Mr. Partridge.
You agree?
Yes, sir.
I like Blanchfield getting plus 115.
I
think she wins. Like, I don't think it's that much of a coin flip. I think she wins.
Ditto. I actually already locked that bet in.
Nice.
Friend. For 1 unit.
Miranda Maverick by TKO now.
Yeah. All right. Next up in the middleweight division, we got Andre Munoz against Eric, your boy. Munoz is 21-4, stands 6'1" with a 68-inch reach. Your boy, 14-5, he stands 6'1" with a 75-inch reach. What do you like in this one?
Man, so I'm actually we talk about this a lot. So I'm really big into the elite athletes coming into MMA and doing really well. Their athleticism gets them to so far, and then you see if they're really becoming mixed martial artists and not just athletes, and that's what sets them to the top, right? We'll have one in studio as more and more athletes join MMA instead of play football or basketball or baseball or whatever. The martial artists that just do martial arts their whole life, I just don't think understand when those different level of athletes are coming into the sport. Eric Anders played football where? The University of Alabama, who last I checked has been the best college football dynasty probably ever. We're in the middle of it right now, and he was a part of it, and he played linebacker for him. He's a great athlete. You're getting odds on a great athlete. Now, the scary part of that is Andre Munoz snapped Jacque's arm in his last fight.
Legit.
But if you go back and watch that fight, I think it's because Jacque welcomed the ground exchanges and felt like he was safe and comfortable there, because Munoz is obviously so dangerous on the ground. Where I think Eric Anders isn't even going to entertain that. He's got to have that. You know, if it hits the ground, he's got to get up and get out of those situations. Where Jacque he's like, you know, I'm one of the best to ever do it. I can hang on the ground with anybody, and he got caught, right? And so I like Eric Anders a little bit as an underdog in this one. But I mean, Munoz is dangerous, but I actually think this is one where Eric Anders' athleticism and just power could actually get him the win in this one. I'm going to take Eric Anders as a slight underdog at plus 125. And he's got a great nickname.
Your boy. I don't hate it at all. Since he's gone over there to Fight Ready, you've seen a little bit of evolution in his game with the two. I mean, the one illegal knee with Darren Stewart, and then he pretty much just mops him up in the next go around when they
mopped him. Who's no longer in the league? Who's no longer in the UFC anymore, too.
I'm gonna follow you on this one. I like the odds. I like your boy on this one.
But and he's shown he can get a decision. You know, Gerald Merchant, really good. Just had a great submission victory. You know, GM3 just had a great submission victory. You know, beat him, got a split decision win with him. So it's like, if you look at who he's fought and where he's fought and stuff, like he's developing skills. He's not just this athlete, this power puncher that has to win by knockout or he doesn't get it. Like, he's somebody to me that could be a late bloomer in this sport that in another couple years, I could see him making a run as a contender.
I'm with you.
Freak athlete.
Yeah, freak. I got to go with the freak athlete. Next up in the 185 division, we got Bruno Silva versus Jordan Wright, the Beverly Hills Ninja. Silva's 21-6, stands 6 foot tall with a 74-inch reach. Wright, 12-1, he stands 6'2" with a 77-inch reach. So Wright obviously going to be the bigger man in the cage. He also is a pretty big underdog. Minus 365 for Silva. Comeback is plus 280 for the Beverly Hills Ninja.
Okay. Do I think Bruno Silva is the better fighter? Yes, I do. Do I think he's going to win the fight? Probably. Should Should Jordan Wright be getting plus 300 against Bruno Silva? Nope.
Yeah, see,
that's crazy.
I mean, because he got knocked out by Buckley.
But then came back and just starched Jamie Pickett.
And I'm like, who is this guy?
So here's the thing with Jordan Wright, to me, the way that I see this fight, if you look, every single fight goes to a finish. He finishes or they finish.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, and it's true. Every single fight. So I'm looking at this going, where are the odds inside the distance for this fight?
He's never gone. He has never gone to the distance. Never gone the distance. It's crazy.
No, he doesn't. And here's the other thing too. Buckley started piecing up Wright at the end of the first round and cracked him, and then finished him at the beginning of the second round, right? I think that if Silva does not get him out in the first round or all but get him out, and if it doesn't happen by the very beginning of the second round the way that Buckley did it, Wright wins the fight.
Looking at the odds on bestfightodds.com, fight goes to a decision is plus 380.
Yeah, it's not happening. It's not happening.
Not happening.
So, you know what? Oh, we'll get to that. Don't you worry.
Yeah,
and I did see that.
That's crazy.
You know what? I've slept on Jordan Wright a few times, and at plus 300, I'll shoot my shot. I'm going to pick Jordan Wright in this one.
I hate to keep agreeing with you, but I kind of like it too.
At plus 300, the value is just insane. You got to be kidding. Dude, I honestly, I would like Silva at like minus 180.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that's where it should be about. I think Vegas is giving us a gift and insane. This, you know what this fight is to me? This is Vegas going, everybody just saw Silva, right? Like we all just saw Silva. He's on a nice winning streak. He just beat Andrew Sanchez and knocked him out in October, right? Like 2 months left, 6 weeks ago. It's fresh in our head. He looks great.
That's probably why we're.
And it's like, this is like the prototypical Vegas, like parlay buster bet.
Yeah, you're right.
Minus 375, can't lose. Vegas has the odds. And then all of a sudden, bink, he gets clipped by a guy that's dangerous in Jordan Wright. So this smells like a fishy line to me that Vegas wants you to throw it in your parlays.
Well, I'm not throwing it in my parlay.
No, Jordan Wright's going in the parlay.
Jordan Wright's going to go in the parlay.
The underdog parlay.
All right. So we're both.
No, we're not talking Pirates of the Caribbean, Fiji.
Heavyweight division. We got Augusto Sakaya against Tai Tuivasa. Sakaya is 15-3-1, stands 6'3" with a 77-inch reach. Bam Bam is 13-3, stands 6'2" with a 75-inch reach. Man, this is the young guns of the heavyweight division right here.
This is a good fight. This is a
great fight. Sakai's coming off of 2 losses.
Yep.
No shame in either one of them, losing to Overeem.
No.
Maybe the Frozen Shrimp. Yeah. And our boy, Tuivasa, is on a 3-fight win streak. Man, what do we do?
I mean, you and anybody that knows me knows who I'm picking in this fight.
Shuey!
I pick Bam Bam all day, every day. Love Bam Bam. He's probably like my favorite heavyweight to watch fight. He puts on a show every time. Whether he wins or loses, he goes for broke every time. I love Tai Tuivasa. I love the toughness. I love that he's like an old school, just like kind of brawler.
Yeah.
Is he ever going to win a title? Nope.
Neither one.
Is he ever going to beat anybody inside the top 5? Nope. Is he super entertaining to just watch him brawl? Absolutely. Sakai needs to stay on the outside and move to have a chance to win that fight. But the way Tai fights, he kind of draws people into that firefight a little bit. And you have to have a higher skill set than him to do it. And what else did we see? We saw Tai beat up Greg Hardy. I love Tai forever. Greg Hardy even hit Tai, and Tai was fine. He even did like the little wobble, like he faked like he was hurt.
Oh yeah. Yep.
You know, like I love Ty. I'm taking Bam Bam all day. Bam. Go ahead, take Sakai. Take that L, dog.
I am gonna take Sakai in this one.
Take that L, dog. You know what?
And the only thing that's making me move that meter is I think Sakai's fought a little bit better competition than Tuivasa has up to this point.
Loser has to do a shoey.
With a monster?
Sure.
Loser does a shoey with a monster. Well, because we're not going to do it with the beer.
No.
I'm not, and I know you're not. So,
no, neither.
All right, shoey. The shoey bet. I'll go with Sakai. You got Tuivasa. Loser.
Yeah, we're going to do a shoey bet.
Shoey.
Clip this and put it on Twitter. We'll tag Bam Bam. You're going to have to do
a
shoey.
Tag Ty Tuivasa. That's the plan.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, so I ordered a sweatshirt for my ugly sweater Christmas party next weekend.
We just lost Jackson.
Hasbulla, Merry Christmas sweater. I'm rocking that next weekend, baby.
To the fights?
Got it.
Wear it to the
You know what? Fights. Yeah, I'm going to wear it to the Steel Fist fights. Hell yes.
Did you order me one?
No.
Send me the link. I'll want one.
I think I did, didn't I? Or just screenshot it.
I need to screenshot it. I want a Hasbulla shirt.
Jackson, he's still here. No. He's still here.
No.
Please don't.
And we lost her insider just like that.
Oh man. All right. So Ty Tuivasa,
Sakai. Jackson, I want to make a bet with you at some point that if you lose, you have to wear a Hasbulla shirt.
Yes.
That's what I want.
I will pitch in and go half on a Hasbulla shirt. What are you, Jackson? Like a large? Probably large. Yeah. Large is big. Yeah. I'm gonna get you a Hasbulla shirt.
Maybe an XL. He's all muscular. Jackson's an athlete. Go check out his Facebook page. Posting old clips of him on the news, just taking over basketball games in high school.
Oh, Jackson's a baller. Why didn't I get him to come?
He's an athlete. He's an athlete.
Why did I not get him to come play with me in?
You know, me and Jackson, we won a slow pitch softball championship together.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. You know what? We need to go get a basketball and go play at the courts by our office one day.
Yeah.
Well, not anytime soon because there's.
Well, we'll go to my parents' house. We'll play on the hoop that I grew up on. Home court advantage.
Dog.
I know how everything bounces there. Excellent.
No, we're never stop to talk about Hasbulla, dude.
Hasbulla.
All right. The shoey bet. All right. Next up in the bantamweight division, we got Pedro Munoz against Dominic Cruz. The young Punisher is 19-6, stands 5'6" with a 65-inch reach. And Mr. Cruz, 23-3. He stands 5'8" with a 68-inch reach. 2-on-1, and if I lose, you're wearing the shirt, dog. You're wearing the shirt.
Put up 2-on-1, and if I.
You really want to do that?
Oh, deal.
You are losing.
You're losing. Me and Jason, we got this.
Sorry, dog.
This, dog.
I'm sorry. That's easy. That is the easiest bet I've ever made in my life. That is free money.
It's free money, Jackson.
Who are you gonna guard, Jackson? You guard Zach. He's gonna pass it to me. I'm making every shot. Make it, take it. You're done. I think
I'll do you up, Jackson.
There's not even a chance. You're not even getting by us.
I'll tee you up, Jackson.
Oh man, it's on now.
Make it, take it.
Yeah, he's done. Easy money. Cash it. Bink. All right, who you got? Munoz and Derrick and Dominic Cruz.
This one's really hard for me. Okay, MMA. Done. He's strong, though. He is really strong. I've grappled with him a little bit.
It's fine.
2-on-1?
2-on-1. And I mean, didn't you play basketball in high school?
Yeah.
And I grew up in Flint. So
I grew up in Flint. So I
can ball.
Just because you played with all the brothers doesn't mean you could jump or anything, dude.
Say I could jump, but I can shoot. All right. Young Punisher against the Dominator. Who you got?
Well, the winner of this definitely fights Hasbulla for a title. So
old man division. These guys are both long.
Okay, all reality. So I went back and forth, and I really I wanted to pick Dominic Cruz in this. But the more that I looked at it and the more that I analyzed things, I think it's time for Dom to. I mean, he just does not look elite to me anymore. And yeah, I got to go with Munoz on this one. People forget how good Pedro Munoz is, I think, sometimes, because he's always fighting the best guys, right?
Yeah,
but,
I mean,
but if you look, I mean, it's like
losses are Aldo, Edgar, and Sterling.
Aldo, which was a good fight, but Jose Aldo looked phenomenal in that fight.
Former champ.
Yeah, and I think, that Frankie Edgar split decision, I was happy because I picked Frankie.
Yeah.
But I remember thinking Frankie had lost that fight and then somehow got the nod. And I was like, wow, okay, I'll take it.
Yeah.
But I did not, in all honesty, I did not think Frankie Edgar won that fight. Aljo, and then, he knocked out Cody Garbrandt. Jimmy Rivera, who's still hard to beat, like he knocked him out too. I just think that, you know what? If Munoz lands on Cruz, I think it's a lot like the Cejudo fight. I think he puts him out. And Casey Kenny, I think, thought that his youth was going to be able to out-wrestle Cruz.
Yeah.
And he was just wrong. Yeah, but I think if Casey Kenny could do that fight again and bring a little bit different strategy, I think Casey Kenny could beat him too. I mean, it's just Cruz beating Casey Kenny, a guy that's not even ranked.
Yeah.
Doesn't scream, oh, he's going to make one final charge. I think that ship has sailed. And I like Dominic Cruz. I know he rubs people the wrong way as a commentator. Apparently him and DC don't see eye to eye on a ton of things.
You dig into that a little bit more. That little media play on words and stuff on that. It wasn't as bad as they made it seem.
No, but I mean, it's whatever. Dominic's just he's a unique character, and he's so quick-witted that I think he makes people feel stupid, and then he gets a rise out of them, and I think he enjoys that. And I'm not that I'm as quick-witted or anything, but I enjoy doing that too. Like if you show me where I can push buttons to get a rise out of you, I'll push those buttons all day. Like I just can't help it. Pedro Munoz is my pick, and I feel pretty good about it.
Munoz is my pick too. I'm the same way. I feel very about it. The thing that I don't like about Cruz, at this level, don't you agree you should be all in? Cruz is commentating. He's doing these breakdowns. Like he's got so much other stuff going on. I don't think
that's an issue for him though. That's actually one I don't think it's an issue because he's so intellectually engaged in everything and he's so analytical. And you look at his fight style and the way he does it. I actually think that helps to a degree to just keep him sharp. But at the same time, you can only be so on top for so long in this sport.
Yeah.
And he was the best, if not still is the best 135er ever. Just, it's time, bro.
Yeah.
And I hope it proves me wrong because that would be actually, if he comes in and puts on a clinic, wins a decision. By the way, that's the problem. What's the decision? This goes the distance.
It is. Let's pull this bad boy up. Dom Cruz. Oh, there's lots of fights on tonight, by the way. LFA, Fusion Fight League. Our boy Trent at Fusion Fight League.
Yeah. No, so I actually think that fight goes the distance.
Okay, I'm looking it up right now. Right now we have fight goes to decision. Wow, minus 200. So does Vegas, obviously, for good reason.
I think that's the move. But I think Munoz wins.
Okay, I'm with you on that one. We'll agree on that one as well. All right. Last fight of the prelims. This is in the men's featherweight division. We have Josh Emmett making his comeback, fighting Dan Ige. Emmett, 16-2, stands 5'6" with a 70-inch reach. 50K is 15-4. He stands 5'7" with a 71-inch reach. How do you see this fight playing out?
This fight is so So Josh Emmett is like an enigma to me.
Yeah.
He doesn't fight that often.
Yep.
He's only fought 4 times since 2018.
That's crazy.
Fights since his loss to Jeremy Stevens, he's only fought once a year, pretty much. He hits so hard. Him and Shane Burgos put on such a great fight, and he hits so hard, but he doesn't take any time off. Like, you beat a guy like Shane Burgos, you beat a Michael Johnson, but you lose to a Jeremy Stevens, who I know is dangerous, can beat anybody. Lost to Des Green. I don't even know who that is.
What was that stat? And I'm kicking myself for not writing it down, but isn't like his last 6 fights, he's dropped somebody in the fight?
Yeah, dude, he hits like a Mack truck.
Yeah.
But here's the other thing. Dan Ige, Korean Zombie couldn't finish him. Calvin Kattar couldn't finish him.
Yep.
I don't think Josh Emmett finishes him. Right? I don't. And we saw Dan Ige. And Dan Ige knocked out Gavin Tucker, who doesn't really get finished. He knocked him out in like 22 seconds.
Yeah, that was, He
and I was on Gavin Tucker in that one.
Yeah,
I look at this and it just makes me scratch my head. I don't know how this fight is going to go. I'm leaning towards the value of Ige being an underdog in this fight, but I really think this is a coin flip. So I'm taking Ige, and I'm going to go fight goes the distance is -180. That's what I like, but I don't have a strong feeling either way on this one.
I feel the same way. Emmett, after being off for a year and a half, what are we going to get? He's 3 months away from being 3 months shy of being 37 years old. That scares me a little bit. But with that being said, I'm going to pick Emmett, and I'm going to agree with you on the fight goes to a decision. But I'm going to echo everything you just said. I think it's a close fight, and it could go either way. So there you have that. All right, main card time, baby. First up in the bantamweight division, Sugar Sean O'Malley versus Julian Pavaya. O'Malley's 14-1, stands 5'11" with a 72-inch reach. Pavaya 21-3. He stands 5'8" with a 69.5-inch reach. We had a little discussion about this one before we came on.
Yeah, and I'm going to take your words, and I've thought about it, and I'm going to completely ignore everything you said to me.
You're going to. Hey, I don't hate you.
Here's the thing.
You're deep in thought here, Zach.
Yeah, here's the thing with O'Malley. I think that O'Malley, the last guy that he beat up, it's not O'Malley's fight. He's not doing anything wrong, but it is very true. He hasn't really beaten anybody yet.
No.
Right? And the one time he got a step up in competition, he kind of got his ass kicked.
Yeah.
So Pavia, where I know you pointed out, and I'll give you credit, you went back and watched his last fight with Kyler Phillips where he pulled off the upset in that fight. He got dropped, right? He got dropped in the first round.
Yeah.
But he came back and he won the fight.
He did.
You know what that tells me? He's got that dog in him.
He does.
I don't believe that Sean O'Malley has that dog in him, dude. I don't. When the going gets tough, I haven't seen Sean O'Malley overcome it. And that was the one thing that Chico Vera was able to just be a dog and get in his face and just be mean and nasty. And yeah, he got hit by him, but he didn't care. And that he was so worried about dribbling between his legs and shooting jump shots to try to knock that last dude out. To me, he kind of got a BS grace stoppage by Herb Dean in that fight. I mean, the kid took a ton of damage, but he was only 30 seconds away of just letting him go the whole 3 rounds. Like,
it's true.
I'm not a big, I said last year that I thought O'Malley would eventually be the 135 champ. I don't believe that anymore. I think he'll always be entertaining. I think he's athletic. I can see him getting into the super fight thing because he's so charismatic and stuff like that. When he's fighting a dog or like some just savage killer, like, I'm sorry, even like, I know he's taking shots at Cody Garbrandt and stuff. Cody will fight you to the death.
Yes.
I don't see O'Malley fighting people to the death. I'm taking Pavia, and I'll take the plus 260 and hope him or Jordan Wright at plus 300 hit for me. Because I think one of them do.
I was hoping.
Now you have me thinking.
No. I agree with everything you just said. And matter of fact, I agree. I don't think O'Malley's going to be a champ. I don't think this is the fight that he loses. I think
he's already lost.
Oh, I'm just saying. I don't think this is the next fight he loses. I don't think Pavaya is the guy to do it. If he does it, I think it's going to be by decision. But I just don't think so. After watching his last fight with Kyler Phillips, Pavaya seems like he's very hittable.
Well, here's the other thing.
Range. He's got good boxing. He uses his range. He's a big 135er. I just think he just uses his range and just picks Pavaya apart.
Here's the other thing.
And I'm not a fan. I'm echoing everything you say. I'm not. I just don't think
I'm really high on Kyler Phillips. I think Kyler Phillips could be a future contender at 135.
Yeah.
You beat him. And if you said, hey, who has a better chance of being a future challenging for the 135 title in the next 2 years?
Yeah.
Based off merit and skill alone, I'd probably pick Kyler Phillips over Sean O'Malley. I feel like Kyler Phillips is somebody that could get in those dog fights and deal with some of those animals that are in that division. I mean, O'Malley can talk a big game all he wants, but like, you tell me that O'Malley wants to fight, Sandhagen or those guys, I don't see it.
I think this fight will determine a lot, because if he loses, then you're
yes.
But if he wins, which I think he will,
but
then
it's a win-win for the UFC.
Yes.
If Pavaya wins, you have a guy that has beaten two of the top 135 prospects in his last two fights, and now he puts himself right into that mix of where kind of Pedro Munoz is in that 7, 8, 9 area.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, either one of those guys. That's division.
It's a really good fight. And again, all the value is on Pavaya. Sean O'Malley minus 300 plus in this fight. No way. Not laying it.
I'm definitely not laying it, but
not putting O'Malley anywhere near Draftkings lineup.
No. This main card is fireworks. Next up in the flyweight division, Kara France against Cody No Love Garbrandt. Kara France is 22-9, stands 5'4" with a 66.5-inch reach. Garbrandt 12-4. He stands 5'8" with a 65.5-inch reach. I think we're both on agreement in this one, unless you change your mind.
Did I change my mind?
I don't know, but you know what kind of scares me about this one?
What?
Everybody that I talk to thinks Cody's going to get upset.
I know.
I don't like that. I hate when that happens.
So here's a very, very real thing that you have to look at with Cody Garbrandt, right? The way he lost to Rob Font was very discouraging. It was his first fight after COVID.
Yeah. Yep.
His cardio did not look good.
No.
We've seen him go 5 rounds with Dominic Cruz and stuff and not even blink at getting time. I mean, he looked fresh. He looked like he could have gone 8, 9 rounds that night. He knows how to get ready for a 5-round fight.
Yes.
Here's the thing. The reason why he's a favorite in Vegas in this fight, former title holder, big name, once undefeated, beat Dominic Cruz, the only person to really just outskill Cruz, right? Henry Cejudo got his whatever you want to call that. He got his hand raised. That's all that matters. That's fine. But it's not, he landed a punch and no nonsense. Keith Peterson stopped the fight. But the way that But we all keep saying, well, what if that Garbrandt comes back? That Cody Garbrandt's gone. We all evolve in this sport. Cody Garbrandt, that was Cody Garbrandt in 2016. That was 5 years ago.
Yep. You know what's even crazier?
I want to pick Cody. Because of all the, like you said, everybody else is picking him. Everybody's on him, whatever. He's just getting respect in Vegas. I actually think the value, I think Kai Kara-France wins this fight. And I think that's where all the value is on this. One, we know he's a true feather flyweight. We don't know. What if Cody's hands, I know he has ridiculously fast hands. What if it's not significant at 125? Because they're just a little bit faster at that. What if his power doesn't translate from the weight cut? Like, these are all things like we're not sure about.
We don't know. Yeah.
How can you pick or feel confident picking Cody Garbrandt with so many questions marks? Now, could he come out and starch him in the first minute and a half? Absolutely could. He's Cody freaking Garbrandt. He does have lightning hands. Maybe his power does translate. We just don't know. That's why I'm picking Kai Kara-France. I'm not like all in on it. I like Cody. I'm probably cheering for Cody. But I think the pick here is Kai Kara-France.
Kai Kara-France is good. Another thing with Cody, he's 1-4 in his last 5 fights. He took a beating against Rob Font.
I know. See, but that stuff doesn't bother me as much because look at who he lost to.
I know, but Munoz KOs him. Dillashaw KOs him twice. It's like, dude, you got knocked out 3 out of your last 5 fights.
Yeah, but
big long. I get it.
But, I could say one of those TJ fights, the one round goes 10-second longer. TJ getting knocked out, right? He got saved by the bell. The second one, he does. He engages in these wild firefights. He did the same thing with Pedro Munoz, where he's actually winning and his speed is catching him. And then he just goes all meathead. And he put to rest the glass chin stuff in the Rob Font fight because Rob was tagging him.
Yes.
He kept coming and he showed the heart of a champion thing. It's like there's just so many question marks. Like, just sit back and enjoy something. Here's the other thing. This is a guarantee. Have you ever been bored watching a Cody Garbrandt fight?
No, you will not be bored Saturday.
Sit back and enjoy. It's going to be awesome.
Isn't it crazy? He's only 30 years old too. Like, it seems like he's like 35, 36 years old.
Yeah.
He's been a pro since 2012. 10 years now.
Our website has round 3 starts as -115. I like that.
Ooh.
I don't think either of them finish each other. How about that?
I like that. I think we're in for buckle your seatbelts. It's going to be a fun fight.
Yeah.
All right. Making our way up the ladder. Hang on a second. I got to get on the right page again. On the wrong page. All right. Where am I at here?
Jeff Neal and Santiago.
Jeff Neal, welterweight division. Jeff Neal, hands of steel against Santiago Ponzinibbio. Hands of steel is 13-4, stands 5'11" with a 75-inch reach. Ponzinibbio, the Argentine dagger, 28-4, stands 6 foot tall with a 73-inch reach. What are you expecting on this one? You're deep in thought again, Zach.
I don't like that Jeff Neal got arrested a couple weeks ago on Thanksgiving. He got a DWI.
That scares me a little bit.
Here's the other thing. I'm really, really high on Miguel Baez. I think he's phenomenal, and I think he's going to has a bright, bright future in this sport. And the way that Santiago beat him,
that was impressive.
The unanimous decision. You just look at the guys that he's beaten. I liked his body language and everything at the press conference. He said his eyes are set on Usman, and that's where he thinks he's going. And you know what? If you look at it, he's won 8 out of his last 9 fights. And I know he had the medical layoff, but he says he's healthy now. I don't know how. I got to go with Santiago Ponzinibbio in this one.
I'm that way too. I actually was leaning more Jeff Neal until he had that arrest. It just scares
don't
me.
like that. Yeah, just DWI. It's like, what did that do to his camp? What is it? Where's his psyche at? How focused is he? Like,
yeah, if you're all in, that shouldn't be happening during a fight camp, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But so the pick is Ponzinibbio for both of us. Next up in the co-main event, the bantamweight division, the Lioness is back. Amanda Nunes against Juliana Pena, the Valenzuelan Vixen. Nunes 21-4. She stands 5'8" with a 69-inch reach. Pena is 10-4. She stands 5'6" with a 69-inch reach. Little fireworks at the press conference yesterday. They were jawing back and forth at each other.
Juliana's not afraid of Amanda Nunes. Let's just get that out the window.
She's confident. I love her confidence.
Love it. Guess what?
Not gonna matter.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Oh man. Yeah.
I have a question. Do you give any credit to the fact that the last person that Amanda Nunes lost to was Kat Zingano, that Juliana Pena beat her up?
No, that doesn't.
Neither do I.
It does nothing for me. How long ago was that? 6 years ago?
Yeah.
5 years ago. 5.5 years ago. No. It means nothing to me. Amanda Nunes, she wins. She's a -1 900 favorite, 9-1 favorite.
Yeah, but guess what? Her by knockout or TKO is -160.
What if she submits her? When's the last time she submitted somebody?
I don't really like that as much because Pena is a good wrestler and good on the ground. I think that's a harder finish to get.
She hasn't submitted anybody since Misha Tate. And does it Pena's
best friend is Misha Tate.
What if she submitted her with a rear naked choke like she did Tate? I'm betting that just because of that. What is that by submission? What are we getting here? Look at me making stupid bets. Nunes by submission is +400. I'm in.
Hey, round 3 starts is +120.
I actually like that too.
I think Pena is tough.
I think she's tough. I think she stays in there. I think she can hang in there. I'm in agreement. Nunes wins. Round 3 starts.
3 or 4.
Okay, we're in. I like that. All right. Main event time. Oh man, I've been looking forward to this fight. To me, it just doesn't get. It's two guys that have gone through the ringer and built themselves back up. Charles Oliveira, Dustin Poirier. Bronx is the champ, 31-8, stands 5'10" with a 74-inch reach. The Diamond, 28-6, stands 5'9" with a 73-inch reach. I mean, we've been saying it all along. Like, flip a coin. If you think you're confident on one way or the other, you're wrong.
It makes me mad when I hear, oh, Poirier is going to win for sure, or Oliveira is going to win for sure. Okay, folks, these are literally two men that have been forged by the same type of fire in career.
Yes, almost identical.
Long, hard roads. Both started as featherweights. Both moved up to 155. Both have significant wins, dominant wins against tough opponents. I mean, the only difference is here, and when you're talking about splitting hairs, is I think over the last over the body of work, 3-4 years, Poirier has been in the limelight that whole time and fighting top tier guys that whole time, where it kind of just feels like Oliveira was under the radar and is now finally on the scene, but still probably not getting the respect he deserves.
Yeah.
Poirier respects him though.
I do like that.
And all the other fighters respect him.
Dude, this is such it's just tough because I love both these guys. I've been on Bronx all year. I've seen his turnaround since probably the Kevin Lee fight was probably the one that really was like, okay, like he's fought through adversity. Kevin Lee was beating him, slaps on the guillotine choke, round 3, 28 seconds.
Yeah.
You already know where I stand. And the only reason I'm sticking with Bronx, the only reason I'm sticking is because I've been on him all year. Until he loses, I mean, you're looking at a guy. Let's read this off for those of you that don't know. 17 stoppage victories in the UFC, the most in company history, right? 14 submission victories in the UFC, most in UFC history. 17 fight night bonuses, second most in history. 11 performance of the night bonuses, the most in UFC history. 5 guillotine submission victories, the most in UFC history. 3 anaconda submissions, the most in company history. One of only 2 fighters in UFC history to earn a calf slicer submission, and one of only 2 fighters in UFC history to earn submission victories with 6 different techniques. Frank Mir being the other one. And you could flip that and probably give me a bunch of stuff on Dustin Poirier same way. Poirier's a freaking dog. He's going to be in that fight till. I love his confidence. I love his drive. I love why he's doing this. This is his goal. I hate picking against either one of these. I don't even want to make a pick, honestly. But this is our podcast. We have to make picks. I'm going to go with the guy that I've been on all year for the last 2 years.
I mean, I can echo everything you just said.
That's the beautiful thing about this fight. Isn't that crazy?
Here's where I think that it swings for me. One, Oliveira already talked about going back down to 145.
Yeah.
Right. And doing the double champ thing, which is very interesting. But the fact that he thinks he can go back down to 145, where Poirier is like, he's eyeing 170.
He's eyeing 170. Yeah.
I think Poirier is bigger. His back's bigger. I think he hits harder. I think his boxing's better. I think his dirty boxing up against the cage is actually probably where he has the biggest advantage is in the clinch.
Agree with that.
The grappling, Oliveira hands down has the advantage, but it's not like he's going against like just a blue belt or a purple belt or whatever. Like Poirier is very, very good on the ground and competent on the ground. I liked some of the things that he said when he talked about he learned from the Khabib fight on being careful in positioning and, and things like that. I think fight IQ wise, it's probably a wash. They both have extremely high fight IQ. I don't really like when they keep bringing up like, is Oliveira like he'll quit because like he quit in the Paul Felder fight. He's learned and grown and gone from that. I don't believe that's still in him.
Well, we saw that in the Lee fight and we saw it in the Chandler fight.
We for sure saw it in the Chandler fight. He almost got knocked out. But if Chandler can almost knock him out, I think Poirier's 1, if not 2 levels ahead of Chandler. That fight was close enough that's all I needed to see. I think if Poirier hurts him the way Chandler did, I think it's a wrap. I think it's a dang good fight. I think it's close. So we have paths to victory, right? Like whatever. I think Poirier has more paths to victory than Oliveira. I don't think Oliveira knocks him out. I don't think he wins a decision.
See, I actually think he could. After watching his last couple fights, I've seen some I can see improvements in his stand-up. Not saying he's at Dustin's Poirier because I agree with everything you said about Poirier. I think he's the harder puncher. I like the fact of the dirty boxing, but I could see Oliveira. I could see it like looking in the mirror. I could literally see either one of them knocking either one of them out. I could see either one of them catching either one of them in submission. So I could see a decision going either way for either one of them.
So let me just
kick some knowledge, drop some knowledge, Zach.
When I'm talking about Poirier and talking about getting knocked out.
Yeah.
Connor couldn't do it in 2 fights. Dan Hooker couldn't do it in a great fight. Max Holloway couldn't do it. Eddie Alvarez couldn't do it. Justin Gaethje couldn't do it. Anthony Pettis couldn't do it. I'm sitting here, if those guys aren't going to knock out Dustin Poirier, I don't think Oliveira is.
The only thing about Poirier is he's been in a lot of wars, man. He's been in some, I mean, they both really have, but recently that Dan Hooker fight, he was in a war with Hooker. Now Hooker's dropping back down to 145.
Well, writing's on the wall. He just fought the future in Islam, and he knows how that went, and he knows that he's not good enough at that weight class. He just knows now.
I mean, we just have a great freaking main event. It's going to be
between two good guys that you can cheer for. You can be excited for both of them. You can cheer for both of them. Like, you're probably going to be more bummed out for whoever loses than you are excited for whoever wins.
Do you think Charles Oliveira isn't that big of a star because he doesn't speak English?
Yes.
I think that's a huge part too. I bet if he could speak English,
he's so likable. If you listen to him and you go look at his embeddeds and stuff, he's so likable. He's phenomenal everywhere.
Live in the ghettos in Brazil still?
Yeah, he still lives in the favelas.
Yeah. Like, I mean, the dude is, they're both dogs. Poirier's from Louisiana. I hate to see either one of these guys lose. But like you said, the writing's on the wall. Islam's coming. If he can give it back to Rouge.
Which that's another really exciting fight for me. That's the fight I wanted to see.
That is a great
because if Islam submits Betty, it's like, okay, and it's over.
What is the size difference between those? Because isn't Darush pretty big?
He's huge.
Benny, I just need to see that.
All right, Jackson. If Dustin Poirier wins, you have to eat something with hot sauce on it.
Oh, is that it? No, we got to make him. He's 5'10" with a 72-inch reach. I actually think they're the same size. Islam, Makhachev. Yeah, they're literally the same. They're literally the same size.
Hey, we got to wrap up.
Oh, okay. So
the champ is going to be here in about 5 minutes.
Okay.
So we're going to do one more podcast with the champ, Cole Faust.
Sweet. All right, I'll get it set up. Oliveira for me, Poirier for you.
Hey, real quick.
What?
Draftkings.
Oh.
I do have my Draftkings lineup.
And
what?
Zack and I are going to roll, and I got to figure out what my bet. How many times do I get submitted in 5 minutes?
I think 2.5 is fair. That's more than
one. Well, that's one every what?
It's half the roll, 5-minute roll. That's.
I think I can last that long. I think I can.
Okay.
Where we starting?
Starting at the bottom, cheapest to most expensive. Blanchfield.
I like it.
$7,800. Next, Ponzinibbio, only $8,200. Oh, sorry, I missed one. Pedro Munoz, only $8,100. Kind of hanging out in that range. Tai Tuivasa, $8,300.
Okay.
This is where I might lose you. Poirier's $8,600.
Ooh. I don't hate it though, because I think you could.
Here's the thing with Poirier: win or lose, he's going to rack up points.
Yeah.
The only fight that he didn't rack up points with was Khabib, right? And then lastly, Randy Costa for 9,000.
Who scored the most DraftKings points against Khabib? Connor?
Probably.
RDA?
Probably Connor.
RDA.
Connor landed more shots.
Who's the Jack juiced up guy?
Gleason's about.
Yeah.
Anyways, enjoy the fights, everybody.
Enjoy the fights. We will be back here in about 5 minutes with Cole Faust. We are.